So we'll do another one more, and then I'll quit for the night. Trying to shorter videos a little bit today. The other one is the fact that everything in the universe, at least according to our physics, is just energy organized in a different way, and this includes you. So it is possible. In fact, we know how to do this. Sorry, cat hair. In fact, we know how to do this to take every atom in your body, all of it, and just convert it to light, just instantaneously. We could take you, your entire body, and just turn you into light. There would be nothing left, just light. And we know how to do this. This is a thing that human beings know how to do. Do we necessarily want to spend the time and money to do this? No, because it would require an equal amount of however, whatever your mass is, you would need an equal amount of mass of antimatter to pull this off. And it's just not worth spending the time to make that much antimatter. But, we have the technology to do it. We could, in theory, pull this off. But that just goes to show that matter and energy and all of the things that happen in the universe, or sorry, matter and non-particle matters are just energy organized in different fashions. So mass is just the same. Mass particles with mass. Sorry, particles with mass are the exact same thing as particles without mass. So light is the same as the skin on your body or the hair on your face. It's just energy organized slightly differently. The interactions between the different types of energy in the universe results in the universe that we see, and the fact that energy and that everything is energy is exemplified in Einstein's famous equation E equals mc squared. So we'll pull back up Microsoft Paint here because I like this one. This one's cool. Let's see if I can drive this bus properly. Okay, so if we go E equals mc. Actually, don't know. Now that I think about it, I don't know how to make it. Make a 2. How do you make the up 2? I don't know how to do that on a computer. Huh. Well, pardon me, I'm an idiot. Anyway, equals mc squared. Just assume that's a squared. Okay, what this means is that the energy is equivalent to mass times the speed of light squared. So for a little bit of mass, you get a dumbass amount of energy because the speed of light is a ridiculously huge number. So square it, and it's even more ridiculously huge. So then you multiply that by the mass, and that's how much energy that you get out of it. This is how atomic bombs work. This is how nuclear reactors work. The mass of the particles that come out of a nuclear explosion or a nuclear reactor are slightly less than the particles that went in. So if you have a uranium atom that weighs, they're incredibly light, but let's say, for example, it weighs a kilogram, and you split it, then the two atoms that come out of the split uranium atom won't weigh 2 kilograms. They'll weigh 1.995 kilograms, right? And that little bit of energy that gets, or that little bit of mass that gets lost when they split, gets multiplied by the speed of light squared, and that's how much energy you get out of it. And that's where the energy from the atomic bomb comes from where the energy from where nuclear reactors come from. It's also where the energy from conventional bombs come from, because when you rearrange the atoms that in an explosion, the resulting molecules that come out of the explosion weigh slightly less than the molecules that went into the explosion. So you get the equivalent amount of energy out of it. And you can do it in reverse too. You can take a little bit you can take a lot of energy and convert it for a little bit of mass. You can actually make a black hole by just concentrating a bunch of lasers in one spot. Now, we don't have anywhere near enough energy on Earth to pull this off, but it would work if you could get enough lasers all pointed at the same spot in space. You could get enough energy concentrated in a small enough area. You can get a black hole without needing any kind of matter at all. So this equation right here, what blew my mind about it when I first learned it was you don't realize the implications of it. It's so simple. And yet what it means is that everything in the universe is the same. It's all, you can convert everything in the universe into other things in the universe. You can take you and turn you into light. You can take light and turn it into electrons. You can take, during nuclear, you can take protons and turn them into neutrons. And you can take neutrons and turn them into protons. And you can smash electrons and protons together really hard, and you can end up with neutrons. This is what neutron stars are. And it's like everything is interchangeable. If you take and you try to pull quarks, which are the particles that make up protons and neutrons, if you try to pull them apart, then the amount of energy you have to put into that system to finally get them to separate is the same amount of energy that it takes to make two new quarks. So essentially what happens is as you pull them apart, it would be like breaking a pencil in half and ending up with two whole pencils. So this is the same thing happens with gravitational waves. So we just discovered gravitational waves a few years ago. The two black holes that merged in our first gravitational wave discovery, the mass of those black holes, when they merged, the mass of the black hole that came out of the merger was less than the mass of the two black holes that went into it. And all of the energy that was lost was put into the universe in the form of gravitational waves. So we transferred all of that mass that was in black hole and just turned it into gravitational waves. And this is true of everything in the universe. It's true of my glasses, the microphone you're talking to me on, the air between me and my computer, the information of the information coded in the electricity that travels along the internet that ends up at wherever it is that you're currently, whatever it is you're currently watching this on, like all of those things are the same. They're just organized slightly differently. And that's what E equals MC squared means. And that blew my fucking mind the first time I read it. It's so simple, but it explains, for all intents and purposes, everything. Like nearly everything in the universe can be boiled down into its why are the numbers that we get? Why does a certain number of mega electron volts worth of energy, or why does a certain number of mega electron volts screwing that up? Why do electrons with a certain number of mega electron volts, when they smash together, do specific things come out of it? It boils down to that equation. Why when you set off dynamite, why do you get the amount of energy from dynamite that you get when you set it off? Well, if you know the mass of the dynamite going in versus the mass of the stuff that the dynamite gets turned into when it explodes, you just subtract what was lost, plug it into that equation, there's your energy. That's where the boom comes from. Same thing with all of the cells in your body. How do nutrients get in and out of your cells? Well, there's a certain amount of mass that gets lost when the molecules of your body rearrange into a lower energy state. There's a little bit of mass that gets lost, and that mass is the energy. That lost mass from the chemical reactions in your body is the energy that you use to live. This is why you can eat things and have eating things power your body, is because you're breaking some of the mass of the stuff that you eat down into the energy and using the energy to run your body. That's why you're allowed to live. This equation right here explains essentially why anything happens. it doesn't explain the direction of why things happen. Because E equals mc squared is time invariant, which means that it works forward or backwards in time. So there's no reason that time should flow in one direction. You should be able to take, you should be able to like like blow up dynamite and then unblow up dynamite according to this. So you need a second piece that creates the flow of time, and that seems to be entropy, where like disorder increases over time. So dynamite is a fairly organized molecule. When you blow it up, it becomes less organized, and then it takes energy. In our case, it would be from the sun to reorganize those molecules into dynamite again. It won't just spontaneously happen. But equals mc squared describes the relationship that causes that to happen. And I thought that was mind-blowing. I thought it was cool. So those are three things that I learned. This one's a little more experimental, this episode. I'm just trying to figure out a good avenue that will get people to watch. Is it shorter videos? Is it different topics? Do I try doing different content? I'm still new to this. I'm not entirely sure where to go. But if any of you watch this and make it to this point in the video, thank you. Also, please suggest changes I could do. Hopefully those changes don't cost much money, because I don't have much money at the moment to spend. But if it's just style related, if it's just topic related, if it's maybe it's my candor, maybe it's the way that I speak, maybe I'm too rambly, like I don't know. You guys let me know if you make it to the end of this video. I would appreciate it. But I'm gonna get off of here, and I'll talk to you guys later. So deuces.